Today, we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars Ghost and Phantom 2 set. This was released, I believe, 2 years ago. And this is based off of the Ahsoka series, not Rebels. So, while yes, it is the Ghost, and it does technically function as the, the Ahsoka series is basically the sequel show to Rebels, so there's a whole thing. But this is good. I don't know if these are right or not. I have a weird feeling they're supposed to be like that, but I'm going to leave them how they were. Just like that. Just like that. And this is the Ghost and Phantom 2. Yes, it's 2 ships. The other one being right here. Phantom 2, which is based off of one of the Separatist shuttles. I'm not 100% on that. The exact name of the Separatist shuttle. It's the same on both sides. There is no difference. It's the... it's a pretty regular ship. I mean, just looking at it. From the top, it does look kind of nice. I will say I do like all of the colors that are on this ship. I think the colors look fantastic. The blues, the greens, the yellows, they just look so nice. The little bit of red. It's just a very colorful ship, and I like it. I've always liked the Ghost. It's a really nice ship. And this is a good update to the original one, which honestly, upon looking at it, kind of sucked. There was no interior. I thought there was, but there wasn't an interior on the original. Meaning, this one is superior. Now, this one is $200 Canadian, so it isn't a cheap ship by any means. It does have a couple features, a lot of features, I should say. Not a couple, a lot. There is genuinely a good amount to this set, although... the only issue I have is it comes with 5 minifigures, which we'll see. Obviously, we'll take a look at them in a little bit. And, I mean, a lot of them are, pretty big fixtures of the Ghosts, while 2 of them are a bit odd, to say the least. And, I mean, just to talk about features and stuff, the first features are the kind of guns at the front, below the bubble. There is a kind of push bar down there, which if you do press it, I'll show a little bit better than what you're seeing here. But if you do press it, it moves the front cannon around. And if there is spring-loaded shooter missiles loaded in, which I actually do have one off to the side here, conveniently. So if you were to, say, take it and move it correctly, it will come back and hit it. I don't want to launch it, but basically it moves back in order to fire those. So that's pretty neat. There isn't really anywhere to store them. There is a lot of hollow space, though, in the front panels. So that's typically right. I just put them all in there. There's 3 extra, or 2. There's an extra one, but I put all 3 in there. I mean, overall, looks good. So before we take a look at the inside of the Ghost, we might as well take a look at the Phantom 2. And the Phantom 2 is on the back, and it simply unpegs by not doing what I just did and removing the entire top fin. It simply just unpegs like that. It's not too difficult. You do have this kind of large space by the thrusters on the Ghost when it's gone. And the Phantom 2 itself, honestly, a nice little build. It's very small. I could see it being its own little individual set, weirdly enough. It's very tiny. It is the entire first bag. I'm not joking. It's a nice little thing, though. It does open and have a little cockpit area. Not a lot of space in there. You can fit a full-size minifig, but I decided to grab Jason here. And you just lay him in there, and he will fly around. But you can grab one of the other minifigs in the set. And one side has one more stud than the other, and that is to accommodate Chopper. And by Chopper, I mean by removing his head. Yeah, there's no way to put him in there like he's supposed to, but you can at least simulate it, but there's nowhere to hide his body, like typical. There is space in here, and I'm surprised they didn't use it. It's really weird. There's just nowhere to put Chopper's body. Like, it's just throw it away or leave it on the Ghost. I mean, it looks good. It's a representation. There's a lot of stickers on this, though. There is actually a ton. Looking at it, and I'm looking at it. Front here, up here, on the side of the windshield, these 2, these insignias. There's a lot of stickers on just the Phantom 2. I think the majority of them are on the Phantom 2, which is Kind of a shame. And with the Phantom 2, there is one other thing, which is this little back door here, which technically is like it's supposed to be a troop bay. Ship's not big enough. It has a gun and binoculars in it, which is typical, and the little boosters are there. Pretty cool. Oh, and there's an issue as well. So yeah, the sides are actually built like that. They're on hinges, so they actually hinge in to make the kind of rounded shape. It's cool. I like it. And for the Ghost itself, there is an interior along with some other parts. So to get in there, first thing you're going to do is remove this main roof section. Upon doing so, you do gain access to the bubble turret, which can seat a minifig. And there is no studs for said minifig, but you're not going to lose the minifig. Once that bubble's closed, it's not really going anywhere. Front is hinged. The gun here goes up and down. That's it, though. No rotation, which would have been accurate. But again, that's just limitations of Lego sometimes. And the interior is pretty nice, honestly. We're going to bring this up a little bit here. There is some pretty good room. You can fit a pretty good amount of minifigs in there. There's literally a kitchen sink. There is some other parts there. There's some back sections. Kind of wish they might have used the hollow spaces in the wings a little bit. They definitely could have, but they just didn't, which is a shame. You can also see Hera up there at the controls, and there's obviously another side. And on the other side, there's a little console. You can kind of see these caution stripes down there next to those red things, as they do lead to doors, which I'll show here, which is nice. I mean, that's pretty cool. Nothing too crazy in there. It is nice, though, to have all that detailing. Again, I don't know why the original one didn't have it. I thought it did, but it didn't. And there's, of course, one more angle to show for the Ghost, which is the cockpit itself. It is removable, so this one does open, and you do have access to the pilot seat up here with Hera, but you can remove the front bubble along with the top canopy. So you do have full access. You can kind of see the little console in there for Hera, which is pretty cool. But you do also, like I said, have the bubble, which is another kind of gunner's seat, as you can see. So the front bubble does open, revealing that, and it does have a little console in there and a bunch of little buttons. There are stickers as well, and it does have the studs to seat him, and the actual controls are a little Inquisitor blade piece, but with some handles stuck on it. So that's kind of cool. A hilt piece, I should say. And yeah, I mean, that's nice. This is a sticker, which does suck because it has a couple air bubbles in it, and it's one of those stupid ones. I don't know why they do canopy stickers. It is really dumb. Luckily, this is printed, though. Luckily. The white is not the same. That's an issue with Lego outright. The white just never looks the same on the print. It's just an unfortunate thing with Lego. And one thing I will note with the cockpit here is the little thing I mentioned earlier, the mechanism down the bottom. The gun is on this little swivel here. So you have to make sure that that swivel is lined up. And it does just clip on, but you just have to make sure that that little gun goes into those if you want the repeated back and forth motion, pretty much. And then for this top section, it simply just pegs on at the back using a couple studs. And there it is. That is the Ghost in its entirety, really. So let's just talk about the last thing, that being the minifigures, which are pretty good. And as I mentioned with the minifigures, you only get 5. And one of them is technically, some people don't consider the Astromech minifigures. I do. So I'm going to count Chopper. But technically only 4 if you don't count him. I'm going to count him and make it 5. That's not a lot. There's not a lot I guess they could have included with it being an Ahsoka Ghost. That's the thing, maybe an Ahsoka. But the thing with the Ahsoka Lego set line, there is no duplicate minifigs in there. The only way to get a duplicate Ahsoka is if you bought the 2024 Advent calendar. That is not a joke. That is the only way to get a duplicate. The closest thing is Morgan Elsbeth to having a duplicate, and it's still a different minifig, so it's a little weird. And so the minifigs you get obviously General Hera Syndulla. General, right? I'm pretty sure. It's General Syndulla in this one. Lieutenant Beta, funny name. Jacen Syndulla, who we'll get to. Commander Hawkins, and of course Chopper. And just to take a look at them, we're going to take a look at Chopper first, since he's a little buildable astromech. little bit different. Chopper's always been a little different from most. He's a little stubbier than most Astromechs. Actually does look pretty good. I like the little kind of smooth bottom they gave him. He does have his little white part up here to kind of simulate his little dish on his head. The printing does look good, and they gave him back printing, which is something they usually only do for R2-D2. That's cool. He's pretty nice. I do like Chopper. I mean, it's Chopper. He's everyone's favorite little war criminal, right? Never forget, this guy has a actual kill count of thousands of people. He is a war criminal, by all technicalities. It's kind of funny. Next up is Commander Hawkins, who is just dull. I mean, he's in the show. He played by that one comedian guy that I see in a lot of things, but I have no idea who his name is. What his name is. He's just a guy, really. He's, like, boring. He doesn't even really interact with the ghost. He's just included because he was in the show. And I guess they didn't want to put 3 minifigs in a set that's $200. What would be the point of that? Comes with a gun, no backwards faces or anything like that. And even his printing sucks. Just the front of the back and back of torso. That's it. No arm, no leg. He's just dull. He's honestly the worst minifig out of the whole thing. Not even really cool. We're going to talk about Lieutenant Beta before we talk about Jason or Hera. And he's reuse as well. This body we've seen before. If you've watched my prior review on the Shin-Hati Starfighter versus the E-Wing, we've seen this body on Captain Porter. Did I call him Captain Porter or Commander Hawkins? I'm not sure. I get them confused because they're just random characters they've basically thrown in sets at that point just to fill out the quota. And Lieutenant Beta is nice. He is a, why am I forgetting the name? I'm not a real Star Wars fan, I guess. Because I'm forgetting the name of the species of Admiral Akbar. But he is same species. Oh, man, why am I forgetting? Why am I forgetting? It's one of those common ones most people know, too. God damn it. I'm forgetting it. I forgot it another time, too. It might come to me later, but I can't remember it, and that sucks. It's cool, though. Different printing on the head. Very nice. It's a nice thing. I mean, this head sculpt's been around for a while now, but pretty nice. And then we'll talk about Hera before Jason, because Jason we have to talk about a little bit more. Hera, yeah, pretty good. I mean, it is Hera. She does have her jacket from Ahsoka, not just her orange jumpsuit. Pretty good. Back is printed. Front looks good. I mean, the belt down there looks nice as well. Goggles are printed up here on the hat. You can kind of see her mouth poking out there with her little angry face. But, I mean, otherwise she has that. And she does have the weird blue eyes with no pupils because LEGO started doing that for some reason. I don't get that, personally. It's just such a stupid change they've done as of late. And it started with the Ahsoka minifigures, which... It started with the Ahsoka minifigure that I actually have up here. Hold on. We're just going to grab her, because she's literally right here. It started with this one from the Clone Wars. This is the one it started with. It's really dumb. I'll have to fix her later. But, yeah, it's kind of just a dumb change. And then we have Jason, who, honestly, again, isn't too interesting, except for something. I mean, this is the son of Hera and Kanan, and he is cool. He has front and back printing, no legs, because they're the tiny legs, and he has no arm prints. But there is one thing to note. His hair color is wrong. A lot of people thought it was going to be similar to the original Ghost, where they do kind of a running change, and the hair gets turned to the accurate green. Nope, they just left it brown, because in the original Ghost, Kanan came with black hair when he's supposed to come with brown hair. Whole weird thing. They changed it now. I guess the black-haired Kanan is really rare and expensive. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, this is nice, you know, I guess. 2 smiling faces. I mean, he doesn't really do much in the show. He's just kind of there because he has to be. And honestly, the minifigs kind of suck, if I'm being honest. Chopper's my favorite. He just is. Hera's cool, too. But, I mean, Jason has to be here, but these other 2 are just there to fill a quota. That's all they're there to do. They don't do much, and that's basically it for the Ghost. And so, what of the Ghost itself? The Ghost itself is a good set. The build is nice. The ship itself is something I really like. The only thing that really sucks is the minifigs. They're just not good. I mean, there's just not a lot I guess they could have included. Like I said, they could have included an Ahsoka. They could have went a little odd, but they just didn't. They just said, here's a bunch of random New Republic guys. There was a couple small issues, like with the Phantom, where the kind of parts back here move too easy. These little things here I never mentioned because they didn't really fall off. They fall off pretty easily. They're not attached to this top section. They're attached to the side. They're only attached by 2 studs. They fall off pretty easily. A bit of a shame. But other than that, I mean, the play features are great. I mean, the ship itself is great. It's just the minifigs that are let down. That's it. It's really the minifigs that make me kind of sour on the set. The features are great. It's better than the original Ghost, which isn't hard. The one thing both still get wrong, though, is there is no front bay door. If I'm not... There's a front bay door on the Ghost, right? I'm not wrong, right? I'm pretty sure I specifically remember them picking up a speeder bike one time by swooping down with the door open and, like, catching it. That's one thing both have not done. Maybe someday we'll see a UCS Ghost. I'm assuming we will. Eventually. It's going to be a big one, though. That one would have to be, like, a big set. That wouldn't be able to be a small set. That'd have to be a big set. Like, Millennium Falcon type set. That's how big that thing would have to be. Maybe a little smaller, but it would have to be like the UCS Millennium Falcon. It would have to be. But overall, I mean, it's a good set. I'm going to give it like a 4 or 5. It's just the minifigs, man. The build itself is great. I love the build. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the minifigs. It's just, there's not a lot they could have included. If it was a Rebels Ghost, dude, you could have went nuts with this thing. You could have had the whole gang here. Easily, because it's a $200 set. You could have had the whole gang. Easily, you could have had, like, Zeb. You could have had Kanan, Hera, Rebels, Ezra, Sabine. I mean, you could have had everybody. But, no, it's based on Ahsoka, so you can't really do that, can you? Because, you know, only Sabine's in it, and I don't even think steps foot on the Ghost in the show. I don't think she does. She might. I don't remember. It's been a while. But that is basically all I have to say for this review. This has been my review of the LEGO Star Wars Ghost and Phantom 2 set. This has been L5 Elite signing out.